Welcome back to Fletch Does It. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new wood burning stove by a company called Masterforge. They are newer to the world of wood burning stoves, but they're not new to fire, shall we say. So stick around, we'll be right back and we'll give you all the details. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And as we're talking about, we're going to be looking at this new wood burning stove by a company called Masterforge. Now, if you didn't know, you weren't aware, Masterforge in the last several years has kind of made a name for themselves in the world of barbecues and smokers. And they're now branching out into the world of wood burning stoves. And I saw this wood burning stove the other day. Well, it's been more than a day now. It's probably been a couple of months. This particular stove clicked a lot of the boxes for me personally. So if you look over here on the right, one really nice thing is that if you still purchase it this year, you can get 26% off on the EPA tax credit. If in 2023, it's 22%. So, either way, that's pretty decent. And let's see here, the bullet points, heats up to 2,500 square feet. So, this is a good size stove meant for a larger home or a home that has a lot of volume to it. So here's what we were talking about with the tax saving credits. So here are the dimensions. As you can see, it is 31.5 inches tall, so a little under 3 foot. And from front to back, it's 28 inches. And from side to side, it's 22.75, so almost 23 inches. And here is a picture of a nice clean burning box. And as you can see up here on the top, you've got your wood gas burning tubes, which is what makes this stove an EPA approved stove. Guys, let me tell you, I had a good, decent older stove in my house. And let me tell you, this new stove does a much better job, number one, and number two, it burns a lot less wood. Let's see here. Here's your little ash stove that you can pull out, or ashtray, drawer, whatever you want to call it. All right, and here's your outside air intake. So if you guys aren't aware of this, this is a really important concept. The reason why you want to have this is because you're burning the air from outside. The air from outside is typically much cooler than the air inside your house. So it's going to burn better because of that anyways. Secondly, you don't want to be burning the air that you already paid to heat. You want to burn air that has no heat in it, right? So that's definitely something to think about and consider. I've got some B footage I'll probably roll in here at some point just to kind of give you an idea of what that would look like hooked up in my application anyways. It's kind of unique, so it probably won't look like yours. And then lastly, this is the blower, and it looks like honestly, it looks like just a pretty generic blower that goes on there. And alter this now. Okay. This part that you see, where you see the little magnifying glass here, this part here and then this part over here actually stands off the back of the stove a little bit. So there's an air cavity inside of there. And so when you put this little squirrel cage blower on there, what it ends up doing is pushing air in between the firebox and this outside shroud. And I'll show you in the B footage here in a minute. But there's actually some vent holes cut on each side of this so that the air can circulate out. And it is effective and it does work. Okay guys, and just a couple other, in my opinion, which would be value added features for it. The first being is that this is approved for mobile and modular homes, manufactured homes, whatever you want to call it. So you're good to go there, nothing to worry about. It does have a 5-year warranty. While the stove itself is mainly made out of sheet metal, basically. Thick, probably a better way to put it would be flat metal. Sheet metal makes it sound like some really thin galvanized stuff. But anyways, and it also has a cast iron door on it, brushed nickel cooling handles on both the door and up here on your airflow control, or your damper, whatever you want to call it. If you look right here, here's the vents I was telling you guys about earlier. If you look right here, there's some little holes there. I know I got a close-up of that on my B footage, and I'll put that in there for you guys as well. If you guys are wondering why I'm doing this style or type of review right now, it's because this is installed and working right now. And it's really hot. You don't want to be real close to it. Trying to do some close-up shots with it and showing you all of the details of it. So anyways, if you're wondering, now you know. Kind of soft flex here. This is what I paid for it. This is in your, if you want to get it set up, you can have it set up so that all of your receipts from Lowe's are electronically saved. And so I'm in here looking at it right now, and you can see this is what I paid for it, $629.10 versus $800. I think that when I bought it, it was like $699, and with all of the discounts that I got from being a veteran, I don't know, a couple of things. I think maybe it was because the total was high enough, and I initially paid for it through a Lowe's card, so I got another discount. But anyways, $629, and right now they are, let's see here, $700, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 800 basically, $799. All right, guys, and if you're wondering what it looks like while it's working, so to speak, it's always hard to tell when you're looking at yourself in the monitor, because it's inverse. It's the exact opposite of what you think it should be. For those of you that may be newer to the world of wood burning stoves, let's see here. This right there, that's a heat temperature gauge. They're about $10. You can get them off of Amazon, probably any hardware store that sells, your basic wood stove stuff, like, an ash bucket like that. Can't forget fire extinguisher, right? Very important. And then, but anyways, what this does, wow, this is like really tricky right there. And this is just a, rudimentary old temperature gauge. That the idea behind having one of these, and the reason why you want to have it either right on top near your flue pipe, or actually on the single wall portion of your flue pipe, you can't put that temperature gauge on or double wall, because that'll give you a false reading. You need single wall, and that's what that is. But anyways, as long as the temperature is in this orange area right there, that's the most efficient burn that you can get, especially on one of these newer EPA-approved wood-burning stoves. Now, another thing, just some of you guys might be newer to, this little doohickey right there, that's a little heat exchanger. You see right here, there's the holes in there that go through it. And so the flue gases go up this, they go around the little baffles that run through there, and then it goes out. And for those of you that also might be wood stove aficionados, this pipe is not in upside down. I've had several people comment that, and they're like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing, man, that pipe's in upside down." No, it's not. So what's going on here is that's a double wall pipe. This single wall pipe runs all the way up and is fastened directly to the wind cap on top. And the wind cap sits on top of this double wall pipe as well, and so it separates it. And the idea being is that with the older stove that was in here, this provided fresh air for the stove to burn. We've got the flue pipe, or excuse me, the fresh air intake pipe is connected to the back of the stove, and I can't see it right now, but kind of back in there up against the wall. I'll roll in some B footage and show you guys what that looks like. But anyways, back to this helps take the air, or the heat, excuse me, out of the flue, and there's a little fan on the back side of that, and it gently blows the air through there. The idea is that you're getting heat, every little bit of heat that you can out of the wood burning stove before it leaves your house. Now, having said that, I can tell you that again, a lot of people will try to tell you that these are dangerous. And I suppose that in the wrong application, if you're ignorant, and by that I don't mean as a slam, I just mean you truly don't know any better. However, that being said, in this installation, this is not dangerous whatsoever. That's the ceiling right there. You can see, you know, it's up against the wall here. At most, this thing is, I think 13 feet, or, you know, whatever code is, you know, that the stack has to be up above the roof surface, whatever that is. And so I always like to explain this because people, you know, make a point of asking and they say something about it and then it freaks other people out and they don't understand it. And for those of you that live like me, like more in the south and in the east, you know, we've got hardwoods here for days. And so, you know, you would never think of burning any form of a conifer or pine tree or evergreen or, you know, whatever verbiage you use in the area that you live to define whatever you choose that to be or mean, right? If you live in the Mountain West, man, that's all you got. You burn what you got. You know, this is all this wood over here. This is all like red oak and maples and walnut, stuff like that. No problems there. But to finish the thought, let's say, you know, you had a 30 or 40 foot flue pipe that was going up and you wanted to put one of these on there. I would not recommend that. And the reason why is because it's going to steal so much heat out of that flue pipe. And when the gases don't keep the flue pipe hot enough, that's when it starts to stick to the inside wall of that and form what's called creosote. And creosote is the #1 cause of chimney fires in the winter. Now, if you've got a good short flue run, chimney, whatever you want to call it, like I do, it's not really an issue. It's not really a problem at all. And actually, the way that I ensure, I mean, I check mine every year regardless, just for safety and to make sure that no problem developed over the year, whatever. But anyways, when you first burn your stove, you want to burn it hot for about a half hour or something like that, hotter than, you know, you typically would. And the reason why is you want to put as much heat as possible up this flue pipe to heat it up real good, and it'll actually keep that flue pipe clean if you do that. And for those of you that, you know, may or may not know, may or may not care even, actually a lot of wood burning stoves now, if they have a long chimney run, they use double wall pipe going all the way up. And the reason for that is for safety, not because you're going to touch it and hurt yourself, but because it helps keep the flue gases hot as they're going up, which will help keep the creosote buildup down. All right, guys, so in closing, we've had this stove now for a couple of months, something like that. I don't remember the exact date. You can go back and look at the date on the receipt and, you know, get an idea. But we live in the south, so, you know, our winter here doesn't start in October or something like that. You know, a lot of times it's well into December until we get, for us, what will be considered bitter cold. Like I think in a day or two, the high is supposed to be 14 degrees or something like that. And I think the coldest it's ever been here is 17 or 14 since we've lived where we do now. Yeah, we've been here for 6 going on 7 years now. So in my opinion, this is a good wood burning stove, or else I wouldn't feature on the channel. I wouldn't tell you about it. And for $800, guys, that's still a great deal. To get an EPA approved stove, typically you're looking at a minimum $1,200-1,300, something like that. You're probably not going to get the $629 price that I did, but, you know, obviously that was a smoking introductory price. It's still an introductory price and still probably a great deal. Yeah, so if you're looking to upgrade to a newer, more efficient stove, or just to get your first wood burning stove, I would highly recommend this, especially for the price. Now, also something to if you weren't aware, the tax rebate. If you don't know how to install this yourself, like I did, because, you know, I did HVAC for quite a while. And yes, guys, I know I'm a jack of many trades, truly. master of few, but jack of many. Anyway, so it wasn't a big deal for me. And if you're a little handy and you understand how to follow codes and stuff like that, installing a wood burning stove really isn't that difficult. It just isn't. But you do have to know the codes, and obviously you do want to follow them for safety and whatnot. But the point in sharing it with you is that for $800, it's number one, it's a great backup source of heat, and on top of that, it's a great way to heat your home during the winter. I love the way the warmth feels coming from a wood burning stove versus a forced air furnace, and we've had both. And right now my forced air furnace, it's not heating at all. I just turn it on to circulate. We're taking the heat from this room and it's being circulated all over the house right now, so it keeps the heat on the furnace from even kicking on. We just use the blower on there to circulate the heat. Well guys, that's it for now. I greatly appreciate you joining me today. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below. I'll do my best to answer them, but understand, I'm not a licensed contractor or, anything like that. So I can't give you code enforcement advice or anything like that. I could tell you would I recommend this stove to my family, my mom and dad? Yeah, absolutely. For the price, I don't think you can beat it. Well guys, until next time, we'll see you then.